Hey, what's happening, TikTok? We're gonna have a great night tonight. I got my co-host with me tonight, of course. Natasha is with me tonight. Natasha Jordan is always here. She's wonderful. Carl stuck in a field somewhere. We don't know where Carl is, but you know what? When we see him again, he's gonna get it. Anyway, tonight we're gonna have a great call tonight. You look at this background. We're gonna be talking about this tonight. We're gonna be talking about the upcoming debt and foreclosure class. We've got some new federal mandate stuff that's just been handed down. Some stuff you guys might want to be, just a little bit of news, little freedom news for you guys that I thought was helpful. We're going to be having all kinds of stuff going on. So we're just waiting for you guys to come on. We're going to get started here in about 4 minutes. Yeah. Welcome to the call, everybody. Welcome. Look at all you guys coming on. That's what's up. Awesome. Welcome to the call, everyone. Welcome. It gets me in such a good mood. It makes me want to go on Facebook. Nah, just kidding. We don't get enough action on Facebook. I mean, I put the videos on Facebook, but and by the way, if you guys want to watch tonight's call or tonight's show, this is the Monday night show with Tim Damron, and special guest Natasha Jordan is here with me tonight. If you guys want to watch a replay of tonight's show, usually I pop them up on our YouTube channel, which is Timothy Damron. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. So glad you guys are here. Thank you, man. We're going to have a really great call tonight. Got some good information. Welcome to the call. So glad you guys are here, man. Lots of cool information tonight. Look at this. Okay, look. If you see cop cars, Tim Damron, and a tow truck, and that thing right there, we're going to be talking just a little bit about that tonight. That's nothing. This is the tip of the iceberg. We're going to go into way more stuff than just this. We're going to be talking about... What's his name? Oh, my goodness.
Brandon Joe Williams.
Brandon Joe Williams. That's right. We're going to be talking about him tonight. We're going to be talking about this little process I keep seeing floating around with all these free cars. This guy's running around like the Price is Right, giving out free cars. I love it, man. But we're going to be talking about it tonight. We're going to be taking your comments tonight. I'm super excited. We're going to get started in 3 minutes, everybody. Welcome to the call, man. I am so glad you guys are here. She warned me she might have to get after those kiddos, but dang, here we are. Welcome to the call, everybody. Welcome. We're getting started here in about 2 minutes. That's all right. Yeah, I heard blood coming out of those kids. And as old man, we had to mute that. Dang, man, it was out of control over there. It sounded almost domestic. Oh, just kidding. Welcome to the call, everybody. I'm so glad you guys are here. Hey, man, what's happening, J-Rocks? Glad you're here, too, man. Dominic, glad you're here. Hold my shares. Glad you're here as well. Oh, my kids. You know that guy what is that, the Hood News? I love watching that guy's channel. The guy talks about all the places in Houston that are the worst places ever. It's going good, brother. You know what I'm talking about? Natasha, hold on. I'm going to unmute you. Cause you know what I'm talking about? The Hood guy. We're going to get started in a second anyway. We're just warming up, everybody. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I've seen the one he does, because we're in Alexandria, Louisiana. He'll say the worst places to go to, yeah.
Yeah, and oh my kid. I love that guy, man. I love that guy, man. He's awesome, man. He's awesome. Man, so glad everybody's here on the call. Hey, man, this is all for entertainment purposes only. So those of you guys that woke up Karen and said, Tim Damron's on the call, come on. Go back to your coffee break. It's gonna be another day. It'll be another day you catch me. Not today. All right, man. Let's get started, man. I'm so glad you guys are here. I don't even care. Let's get started early. Right, Natasha? Let's just do it.
This call is being recorded.
Hi. Sorry, we got kids today. Sorry. I hope everybody is having a great day. Thank you for joining us today. Today is Monday, the 14th. So today we're going to be talking about a couple of things. We're going to be reaching on the debt and foreclosure. We're going to be reaching out with Brandon Joe Williams, kind of talking about his techniques and seeing, is he going in the right path? Is he not? Or there's some holes kind of in his stories, different things. And I just ask that if anybody has any questions, pertaining to not just with the debt foreclosure, do you have questions about your UCC, your trust, anything, and we'll be more glad to try to answer any of it. So, Tim, do you have anything that you want to start off with?
No, that's it. Let's go home, everybody. Good night. No, just kidding. Hey, man, I want to welcome all of you guys to the call. We got Natasha Jordan here, man. I totally just put her on the spot, but you know what? She dances good under pressure. That's all I got to say. Anyway, and that's why she's here. We love her to death. We're so glad everybody's here. Welcome, Steve, Tony, Mark, everybody else, and all those other names that I can't pronounce, whatever. I love you guys too, man. I'm glad you guys are here. Tonight, we're going to have a really great call. Tonight, I want to talk to you guys about the Real ID Act. Has anybody heard about that a while back? You know, Natasha, we were talking about that a little bit earlier about that. So, what do you know about the Real ID Act?
Actually, I don't know anything about it until you brought it to my attention. I'm kind of curious about it. From what I understand, it's in dealing with the passports. So does that mean that it's going to be harder to get them? Do we have a certain time frame to get them? And, you know, kind of intriguing.
Well, there's a lot of things going on. Now, what's going to happen is for those of you guys that don't have passports, okay, what's going to happen is they're going to step in and they're going to introduce this Real ID Act. And they're doing this as, I believe, and this is for entertainment purposes only, so I mean, I could be wrong, who knows? I could be making it all up, you just never know. So, fact-check everything. That's what I do. Check everything for facts, make sure nobody's lying to you. That's the best thing you can do for yourself. But from what I understand, the people that don't have passports, okay, you get a passport so you can travel from place to place, yes. But you also get a passport, and when you get a passport, it lets them know what kind of status you might have, okay? We talk about this in my class. Some people do the copper moonshine stills thing. I'm going to tell you I'm a believer in it, but there's some things that you have to do first. If you don't do those things first, you're going to end up with a 1 or 2 star, which is fine. Not a big deal. You know, your shingles are going to stay on your roof. Don't worry, they're not going to fall off. It's okay. Now, but it says who you are in this country, okay? Like a credit score, okay? Like that sort of thing. So if you have a 4-star passport, like I do, then you might get a little extra privileges when you travel internationally. You might get some preferential treatment when you travel between state to state, depending on the state that you're in. So it just depends on if you show it, depends on if you use it. And those of you guys that took the UCC and Trust class this past week, or yes, it was last week, we took that class. We talked about this, and we talked about it's not really fixing your status, Natasha. It's really fixing like it's like your resume. It's like your portfolio. It's who you are in the background. Okay, those of us that just have a tax ID number, and we just, go to garage sales and we keep life simple and we don't do much, they kind of look at us like infants. Okay, those of us that are doing that. And I mean, my life was a lot that way. So I get that. And the reason that you get looked at as an infant is because you're in your infancy. Okay, you're still in your infancy. You're in the same birthday suit that you flew out of the womb with. You're still doing the same with the same number, the same everything. You haven't added an LLC. You haven't added anything. You're just naked in the street, still by yourself with some Pampers. And this is what people were talking about when they were talking about being in your infancy. So in the UCC class is what we talk about, and this is about changing that. It's about changing that infancy so that you're not there. And more importantly, you have the platform to do other things. And keep in mind that you're very limited when you're operating in your infancy. I mean, you got little ones at your house right now, Natasha. I mean, you're not going to hand them the car keys and go, you know what, go get us some milk and cheese and hurry up. You're not going to be telling them that because it's not in their capacity, is it?
No.
That's right.
Well, I'm ready to buy them a 4-wheeler and all this good stuff, but I know they can't take care of it, so I can't get it for them just yet.
That's right. And I mean, and same thing. I mean, I bought my son 2 motorcycles, and he didn't ride either one of them. Made me worry. I was like, just, you know what, son, I'm good with that, and that's fine. Just don't ever let me see you holding hands with anybody other than a girl, ever. Because not taking the motorcycle thing kind of scares me. But no, he's all right. He's fine. He just probably afraid he's gonna fall. Hey, Keith, how you doing, buddy? Man, it's good to see you. Praise Yahweh, man. Oh my goodness, man. I got to tell you, me and this guy Keith, Hopkins. Boy, we go back. Natasha, he actually flew in. He's a plane and everything. He's super cool. I'm gonna brag on you a little bit, buddy, just because. It's just good gossip. Anyway, he flew in on a plane, and of course he is late for my class, but that's cool. He still got in the class. We got him checked in the hotel, and everything was cool. And we had the most amazing time, like on a spiritual side. Like I just got to really see someone else with Yahweh's fire, with Yahweh's blessing, and I got to see somebody else walking in that very same light I was, and it was just a pleasure communicating with him as it is now. I'm so glad that you're here. And those of you guys that want to know why I kept growing this beard, it's because of him. He actually told me, he goes, "Why are you trimming your beard?" Well, why not? That's what they make beard trimmers for. He goes, He took me to Leviticus and he says, "You can't trim your beard." Oh, okay. All right, the homeless man look is looking good for him. That's fine. I'm going to go with the homeless man look too. That's fine. It's humble. Fine, let's go. So here I am, and it just keeps growing. I don't know. It's crazy stuff. But so glad you're here, Keith. Anyway, now everybody knows how we met. Next time you get down to Texas, let us know. We'd love to see you again. Anyway, it's really important that you guys get, all of you guys, thank you, man. It's really important that all of you guys get your passports done, okay? Get them done, okay? This Real ID Act, what's going to happen is it's going to they're going to interface the Real ID Act with all of the illegal aliens that are here right now. Those 3.5, 4 million of them that are here right now, a whole bunch of them. So what's going to happen is, like in Texas, it looks like they're going to let them vote now. I mean, that's not manipulating the vote. I don't know what that is, but maybe it's called creative politics. This is for entertainment purposes only. Nobody get excited. Karen, go back in the box. We don't need that. All right. So, but I mean, I don't know what it is, but here's what I'm saying, guys. We need to get our stuff together, because here's what's going to happen. There's going to be a parting of the goats and the sheep, and this is biblical. So, the goats are going to be on one side and the sheep are going to be on the other, and you need to make sure you're in the sheep pile, okay? Because if you get a Real ID Act, I believe you might end up in the other pile, and we don't want to be there. You guys need to be in control of your stuff. Which reminds me, that's what we're going to be talking about in tomorrow's class. We have tomorrow we have a class of debt and foreclosure coming up. And if you look behind me, I'm going to give you guys a little teaser, and then we'll go in and talk more about this. But there's a police car right there. There's me in the bright green. I look like a highlighter out there. That's me. And then that little dark figure standing next to me, it looks like the devil. Yeah, that's a cop. Pretty close, right? Anyway, he's standing next to me over there. And then you see him pointing, and then there's a tow truck driver over there. And this guy's got my car. Yeah, he thought he was going to repo my car. And he was very sure about it, too. He actually told me, he said, "I don't give a shit what you say, and I don't care what happens. I'm taking that car." And I looked at him, and I smiled, and I was like, "We'll see who's right and who at the end of the day, sir. But if you leave this cul-de-sac, you will not leave in this car." That's just the end of it. So you and the car are going to separate if you leave in this cul-de-sac. I'm going to tell you that now. So anyway, and we live in the lovely stand your ground state here in Texas. And so if someone does take your property illegally, and they're not supposed to take it, and you can prove it, you are within your rights to terminate that transaction permanently. And it's called the stand your ground rule. We can do that here. It makes Californians mad, but we don't care. It's what we do here. Anyway, that's what was going on here. And I'm going to talk to you guys how this even happened. I'm going to talk to you guys why this happened. And we're going to go into more of that. But you know what? Before we get into that, I want to talk about this Brandon Joe Williams thing. Last week, we had the what to do when you wake up in 2024. We talked about that. And one of the things we came up with, these people are doing the signing thing, and they're signing stuff, and they're getting free cars, or at least that's what they keep saying all over his page. Right, Natasha? Are you seeing those?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get a free truck? Because I know you just bought a truck. Was yours free?
No, it wasn't. It was not free.
All right. Well, at least we know she's living on planet Earth. Thank you. I thought for a second there you might have watched the video and went, oh, no. You didn't see that one coming. But no, seriously, on the cool. They're saying that basically you're using Carl was talking about it too, and you're using it's a special, what did they call it? A special endorsement. It's a special endorsement with an I, not an E. Endorsement with an I, not an E. And basically what it means when you make a special endorsement, that the contract stops, and it stops right there, and it funds. And, the skies are supposed to open. They're supposed to go cut you a check. And so far, I haven't seen any checks yet. I haven't seen anybody do that yet. I see the car. I see the stuff that they sign, and it says, and they don't even put the code on there, Natasha. They just write their name and then pay to the order of, and then they write their name again. Is that what you saw? Kind of.
I didn't see it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I saw.
I didn't see that part. Yeah.
That's the part. I've been, because people have been sending stuff to me, and I've had some students actually reach out, send stuff to me, and guys, if you have stuff, send it to me, man. I want to check it out. I'm all about it. And really, this is not to beat anybody up or not to belittle anybody or be a troll or any of those other negative things. Here's what this is all about. Truth. And if your truth can't take a little testing, maybe you're full of it and it's not truth. Because truth, even a lie can look true until somebody tests it. Would you agree? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like when your kids come up to you and they say something like, no, Dad said it was cool. And they didn't ask me. And then because Dad said it was cool, Mom just folds. Yeah, well, you said it was okay. No, I didn't. You just got put together. I think kind of we're seeing some of that. Here are my concerns with the process. When you bought your truck, what was the first set of paperwork that you signed?
My security agreements.
Didn't you sign your title work first?
Yes, there you go. I was trying to get it out. I was trying to say license plate, but I knew it wasn't right.
Well, your license stuff and the application for title, and then they do the limited power of attorney, so they'll go stand in line for you unless you're standing in line. All that stuff. And listen, I know this is a fact because I was an F&I manager for 8 years. I spent 23 years in the retail car business. My grandfather owns a car dealership here in actually I don't live in San Antonio anymore, but in San Antonio, Texas. And my aunt is the vice president of Avis Rent-A-Car, United States or North America. So I'm going to tell you, man, I've been around this car business my whole life. I've seen every kind of way that you can buy a car. I've seen it done. This concerns me because if you do a special endorsement and you stop the endorsement, but then you agreed to sign all of that title work, and I don't care how you sign it because the DMV doesn't care how you sign it. As long as they got a scribble on there, that's you. And then they got a power of attorney with your scribble on there too. Well, guess what? They're doing it for you. So how do you give them a security interest and then all of a sudden tell them to put on the brakes and do it? Like, that part doesn't make sense to me because that's where you're going to have a conflict. And I think, honestly, what you're going to start seeing from some of you guys that are watching this, Brandon Joe, and this is just my opinion, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm missing something, and you know what? I don't know everything either. So I'm just going to tell you that now. I'm not judging anybody. I don't know everything. I don't. But here's what I do know. Okay. I know what I see. And what I see, Natasha, is that I think people are going to have to make payments on these cars because you're agreeing to it, whether it's payable to somebody else or not payable to somebody else. Then you've got to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I still, if it's too good to be true, so you mean to tell me I can walk in, do the special endorsement, stop the payment, get a full check, and then who's paying for it? You know, I mean, the bank's holding the money, and this, that, and other. So somebody's going to have to pay for it somehow. So it doesn't make any sense.
Well, and those security agreements don't perform unless there's an exchange of funds. So either you're going to fund it or the bank's going to fund it. And these deals are funded. Now, do they write a check? Almost never. Okay? But they are funded. And those of you guys that take this debt foreclosure class, we're going to be talking about how these things are funded, actually. I'm going to tell you everything. I'm going to tell you everything that I know. And believe me, when it comes to the car dealerships, I know it all, frontwards and backwards. I have been a desk manager. I've been an F&I director. I've been an F&I manager. I've also been a new car manager, a used car manager. I've worked in the service department. I was the service manager. And I'm an ASE certified technician, and I worked on them too. And then as a kid, I was the car washer guy. So I've seen it all, like Jody and McCall. And I can tell you where the girls are upstairs and their little offices up there in their cubicles and why they're in cubicles. We're going to talk about all that. And we're going to talk about this. Oh, this was good. And when you understand how these adhesion contracts operate, when you see stuff like this thing that happens, see, they're going to you're going to sign to give them a security interest in your car. Because that's the first stuff you sign is your title work. I know this because this is what we were taught to do in finance school. And the reason that we're taught to do it is because it gives you psychological ownership of the vehicle. Within the first 2-3 signatures, you're in. You're all in. And then the F&I manager has the opportunity or the platform to offer you edge and gap protection and extended service plans, and just in case your tires go flat, and then some waxy sealant that goes on the outside, and don't forget the inside. We got some waxy sealant for the inside too. Then we're gonna burn up your glass with some numbers so nobody steals your glass. Oh. And then next thing you know, your payment's $250 higher. Oh, dang it. Well, that's the car business, and that's how that works. So when we're seeing all these people going in and doing this, my concern is that it doesn't stop it. Now, you were talking earlier when we were doing the warm-up here, you were talking about people, and they were talking about those security agreements, or what was it? The notes were fraudulent or something? Explain that. What's that all about?
So basically, yeah. So what it was whenever you would get your loan, because your promissory note is fake money. So therefore, because it's fake money and there was no exchange money, then you don't have to pay it because they didn't live up to their end of the bargain and or security agreement. So you don't have to pay it, essentially.
Well, that's good. And I mean, and you know what? That's one of the better ones I've heard this week. I'll tell you what, because I've heard some silly stuff this week. I had some phone calls this week, man. I get people that call me all the time, man. I have people in my life that are like, they're like whales out there. You know how whales have those little fine teeth and they suck in all the plankton and they just pull everything up? See, I have people like that in my life. And they go around and they're like little vacuum cleaners, and they run behind Chris Hauser and they pick up his droppings and anybody else's droppings. And then they bring it all back to the lab here and drop it off in my email box and say, hey, could you look at this? What do you think about this? So that is one of the better ones I've heard this week. But so let's talk about that. So in the beginning, you said, and again, this is for entertainment purposes only, so nobody get excited. Karen, go back in the box. No room tonight. So, and I have to say that every time. Otherwise, somebody will flag me for something out there. They always do, the little mafias. Oh, we can't say that word either. Anyway, never mind. Moving on. So they're saying that, well, okay, so what's missing is the prerequisite in the security agreement that says that they must pay in lawful money. That's what's missing. So what happens a lot of times when you're dealing with people that are kind of lost in the sauce, and what happens is they'll end up having like court in their living room. and they start judging world events and all kinds of stuff at like 3 in the morning, 3 Red Bulls later, and they're still firing all over the place, and they're just and they're just talking this and that. And I think that's where that comes from, because it's rational, okay? I'm not going to say it's not rational. It makes perfect sense. If there's no money and you didn't give any money, then it shouldn't be any money. Okay.
Makes sense.
You know what? You could sell that to your cat, your dog, the hamster, anybody else but us. And here's why. Because we understand the course of equity. And whether you understand it or don't understand it, you're understanding it because you see it happen every day in front of you. And because there's a thing that's called accepted for value. And these guys will be talking about accepted for value as soon as they take their next breath after they turn the corner from this. So if you accept something for value, then it is what it is. Let's talk about Bitcoin. I was talking about somebody today, and they were saying Bitcoin's like 64,000 for one little coin now. I remember when a Bitcoin was $10. I do. I remember when you could buy Bitcoin for $10, and it was this is how it happened. There was a drug dealer in Austin, Texas, a very smart one, that created this cryptocurrency so that he could sell drugs. Yeah. He went online and sold drugs in Texas like crazy, but they couldn't bust him. Why? Because he wasn't using cash. So what were these guys doing? They were accepting for value. And now, because they've done so much acceptance, that coin is worth 64 grand now. One coin. So equity is a very powerful, powerful thing. And it's so powerful that it can create things that just aren't there because there's adhesion and there's things in place. Okay? For example, at 6 p.m., well, right now, on your busiest highway right now, nobody's doing the speed limit. Right now, that's not happening. Why? Equity won't allow it. Now, are they calling in the National Guard? Are they flying in to go put everybody in jail for impeding traffic tonight? No. Otherwise, there'd be nobody on the road going to work anymore. So, equity and performance is very important. These are things we're going to talk about in this class. And this is why this didn't work, by the way. I'm still driving this car, by the way. Or I'm still traveling in this car, for all of you very specific people out there. But anyway, I still have the car. I still drive it. I'm here. I love it. It's a wonderful car. One of the best cars I've ever owned. And I got to tell you, it's a fantastic product. But we're going to be talking about how this happened. How did this happen? Okay. You're talking because the parties accepted it as value and accepted it as gold and silver and acted like it was gold and silver. It is. It's kind of like two people that put themselves out there and they say we're married. Okay. And we run around and we got a checking account together. We got an apartment together. We got cereal bowls together. We got all these things together and we're presenting ourselves to the public that way. Well, in Texas, if you do that for 6 months, you guys are married. And that's without the minister. So, I'm being serious. That's a common law marriage. Why? Because you're acting as such. This is how powerful equity is. We're going to be talking about that in this class right here. This class is a very, very interesting class. I've got 3 seats left. So if you guys are interested, go to my website, houseofyah.communityoutreach.com. Don't schedule an interview. Just call my office directly, okay? I'll be available between about 9 and 4 tomorrow, Central Time. Give my office a call. Either I'll answer the phone or my assistant will answer the phone. Somebody will answer the phone. And I will get to you, and we will get you in there. Now, I only have 3 positions left, so if you're the number 4 guy, we may have to have another conversation. But I'm happy to share with you, happy to help you with this process. And I'm here to tell you, it looks like a free car situation, but it's really not. Now, how did all this happen, and why are these people here, Natasha? They're here because I foreclosed on my lender. Now, I really foreclosed on my lender. And what happened was, if you look over here, and I know everything's really small, so I apologize, but there's the little cop car. and there's me in the green highlighter shirt. And that dark figure right there, nope, that's not a demon. You're close. It's a cop. Okay, and he belongs in that little car over there. And then there's another little popo, which is over here. And then there's a tow truck driver that's sweating bullets over here, and he's over here. So basically what happened was I foreclosed on the lender, and if you do my process, you will absolutely foreclose on your lender if you have reason, of course. And we'll talk about those reasons. We'll talk about reasons that you can't. One of the things that we talk about in the trust class, and it's such a benefit to have the trust, is because you no longer become the borrower anymore. You become the administrator. So, and remember that judges are also administrators. No, you're not a judge and you're not holding court. That's not what I mean. What it means is that you have the platform to ask for anything. Like the judge can say, all right, everybody unpack your suitcases, let me see. And everybody's got to do it. Why? Because he's a non-biased administrator. He's a fact finder. And that's what he's there to do. So when you start operating as the administrator and not the borrower in that little box, then the administrator can go do anything he wants. This is why they have that 1-800-I'm-pissed-off number for you to call. Yeah, if you're pissed off, call this number. That's right. It's just counseling. That's all it is. They got negotiators on there to make sure you just shut up and go make your payments again. Fine, send them a teddy bear and a free dinner, and let's get it back on those payments again. You know, just whatever it takes. Did we need to waive the fee, guys? We're going to waive the fee just so we can get it back to making those payments again. Tell me that isn't what happens every time you call the 1-800-I'm-pissed-off number. And the end result is, Natasha, you're making the payments again, right? Every time.
Well, that too. And then if you ever try to cancel a cable, we're going to give you 6 months free and this and that and the other happens all the time. Yeah,
right?
Try to cancel something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So understand that their job is to put you back in the borrower box and remind you that you really are in that box. And then they put you on hold and they say, your call is very important to us. Please wait forever. Ugh. And that, Natasha, they do that on purpose too. That is a grooming technique. That is to wear you down, okay? They put you on hold like that so you'll just cool off. Oh shit, he's mad. You know what? Just leave him on hold an extra 5 minutes. He'd be all right. And that's what they do. So we can stop playing these games and we can start doing business, okay? But you have to have the right platform. You have to have the right springboard. So this is why we have the UCC and trust class. And then the second part of this, and the reason this class is so important, is because they're going to try to do anything they can to get you contract. So guess what all these people were here to do? Steal my car. The man in black over here was here to make me think that it was okay that they do it. Because I'm an officer of the law. Well, here's what happened. These guys pulled up. The officers called the bank. And the reason that they called the bank is because the bank didn't own this car. So you remember we were talking about that other fatal process that was bad. Why? Because they had a security interest in the car. Well, guess what happens when you get rid of the security interest? And nobody's done this, by the way. Nobody has done. You know what? I'm tired of holding back. Natasha, I'm not holding back tonight. Nobody's done this, okay? None of these, no Chris Hauser, no Goonie Goo Goo, no nobody else. Last year, this year, the year before last, Anna Von Wright, David Strait, any of these other people, okay? None of them have done this, but I have. And it's because I understand contracts. It's not because I'm super smart either. Because you don't have to be smart to understand this. You just have to pay attention. You just have to watch the little balls move from here to here. And it's very simple once you understand this, okay? This took 45 days to do this. 45 days. What if I could tell you could do this in 45 days, it'd be done? I've done it. Natasha, I've done it. I've done it many times. And, that's it. I mean, I'm sorry, but, there's just so much grandstanding out there, and I try to be kind of quiet and just kind of a little reserved about it. And, hey, come check out the class and I'll show you how this happened. But you know what? I'm sick of it now. Nope. We're just going to tell everybody. No, I'm kidding. We're not going to go out like that. No, what I'm saying is that you guys need to do this. If you're going to do this, this is a very fine line to walk. Okay? Look who's here. If I was doing something illegal, if I was remotely on any side other than the honorable side of what I was doing here today, here during this picture, I would be in jail. Because look, they were here to do it. And guess what was even funnier? The cops over here, they were on the phone with the bank. And the bank, your call is very important to us. Please hold. So they had Natasha, the cop, had the city attorney on the phone, and they're all on a three-way conversation with the bank trying to get somebody on the phone to make sense of all this. And here's why. They were an out-of-state bank, and in the state of Texas. Oh, this is a good question. He says, so you must first have a private trust to foreclose on a lender? No. But you need a cover, okay? And one of the things I'm going to be talking about in this is, so I personally owned the vehicle. I personally had the car financed in my name. But once this happened and they were removed as the lien holder, then I gifted it to my trust. And then when that happened, you can't claw it back anymore. There's no going back and saving that. It's done. So the trust is considered a holding company, okay? And it holds property for the benefit of your beneficiaries. And once stuff goes into the trust, it's embezzlement if they take it out. And if they make you take it out, that's extortion. They can't do that either. So, very, very, very powerful. Very extremely powerful. Just powerful as you don't know what. Long and short of it was, I was able to walk out, show that this court record was done and done. What court record? Those of you guys that take my mail class, I'll be talking about that court record. I'm going to talk about how to create that common law court record. And you can walk around with it. And then that way, when the little minions show up, they can't do anything but follow their programming. That's all they can do. It's for entertainment purposes only. Don't get offended. But when they do, you're welcome, man. You are so very welcome. And hey, brother, if I can discern, if I can do anything for you, schedule an appointment with me. They're all free. Go to my website, houseofyah.communityoutreach.com. Go into workshops. You can check out the workshops that we do. You see some of the cops we got fired. Fun stuff like that, because I've actually done that too. Cops, judges, and various other people that work down there. Yes, that's happened, and I've done it. And I'm going to tell you, I hear a lot of talking, but I don't see a lot of people doing it. But please keep your comments. You guys, be nice. Hey, be nice out there. Look, this isn't about that. This is about me saying, hey, let me bring you guys aboard. Let me show you how I'm doing this, okay? And how it really does work, okay? Look, I know there's a little bit of showboating here, and that's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is get your attention, okay? Follow the facts. Follow people that are doing this stuff, okay? These people that are just talking, a lot of times they're talking to get you guys to go do stuff that they're too chicken themselves to go do. Chris Hauser. You see? And this is the stuff we got to watch out for. This is the stuff, you know what? You're putting your lives, your freedom, and all kinds of stuff on the line. I mean, you got to make sure your stuff is good. What do you think about that? Don't you agree? I mean, we need to have all the facts, right? Before you go jump off and...
Yeah, or I found that even if you talk with certain people that are wanting to teach things, that they don't have all the information, like you said, and then some of them are just really cruel and like, well, why don't you read, or why don't you do this or that? Well, can you teach me how to, or what facilities to go to, or books, So
no,
there's just different.
There's too much of that going on out there, and there's too many people out there that will come in and take a class like mine. And I'm not saying they're doing my class, they probably are, but whatever. And they'll go off and they decide they want to go teach classes too. But the problem is they don't have the intellectual property to really answer the questions of, what happens. They know one way. They know one little story on how it got there. They don't know all the variables around it. And I think that's important. I think you need to know those things. I think that before you tell anybody to do any of this stuff, and this special endorsement stuff. The funny thing I'm seeing about getting back to that is that I'm also not seeing them putting any kind of a code like CFR, blah, 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 whatever it is that says, this is a special endorsement that identifies it as a special endorsement. I'm not seeing that at all.
Yeah, or at least a UCC or something, how some of they do that.
A picture. And Carl was saying he had a stamp. So that makes sense, but I've not seen anybody using a stamp. I'm not seeing a single one, but they're all leaving in cars. They all got cars. But they also got pre-approvals too through the bank. And the bank has a security interest in their property now before they left that finance office. That's a guarantee. So I think that's where we're going to have some problems. I think that's just me. I don't know. And Brandon, if you're hearing what I'm saying, schedule an appointment with me, man. I'd love to talk with you. I'd love to meet this guy and see what his deal is and just get in your head, man, and see if you're for real or not. Honestly, really. And any of you other teachers that are out there, dude, I'd love to meet with y'all. This is a knowledge game, okay? And if I can share some knowledge with you, you can share some knowledge with me, man, I would love to talk to you. I really would. One of my students today said there's 350 billion people counting on you, Tim Damron. Tell the truth. Oh, well, and in a grand scheme of things, he's right. There's 350 billion people here on the country, here in the world, and they're counting on us to tell the truth. They're counting on us to be those fact finders, Natasha, so that not so that we can get some fame and fortune for it, but just so there's a recognition, a decent recognition, because nobody is out doing things they shouldn't be doing. Do you remember Kayla and Colby Fitz? You remember them? A while back.
I can't say that.
It's been years that I've talked about her, but these guys were students, and I'm not going to say of who, frickin' David, but anyway, they were students, and these guys lost everything. They had acreage. I'm not going to say where, it doesn't matter, but they had acreage. They had their own little homestead. They had beautiful children, a couple of beautiful children, young little ones. Kayla is a sweet, sweet gal, a believer in Yah, and a woman of prayer, and really has done some filings, some pretty impressive filings actually, and appeals and things like that. She's definitely got the juice, no question. But she was counting on a certain somebody, and she trusted that certain somebody, and she took information from those people. She stood her ground because she believed that information was true, and it kind of somewhat was, but she didn't know how to apply it, so she really didn't have true information. She just didn't have all the facts, and the end result is that they lost everything. Her husband, a decorated veteran, 3 or 4 tours he'd been on in Iraq. Truly a hero. And I thank him for his service too, by the way. Truly a hero, really a nice young man too. And I had the opportunity to talk with him quite a few times, but they got so sucked in by this movement that they stopped checking things. They stopped checking things for proof. They stopped checking out these people to see if they really knew what they were talking about. And we all know that, there was no special forces, and there was no anybody running around with Donald Trump busting the bad guys. We know none of that stuff was true. So, but they fell in for it hook, line, and sinker, and here they are. Quite frankly, Natasha, I'm tired of that stuff. I'm tired of hearing all these, these teachers that are out there doing this sort of stuff, because I think that people that are looking for truth really need to find the truth. And if you don't know the truth, to zip it. But if you do know the truth, and you know what's going on, and you've experienced something or something like that, man, we'd love to talk to you. I'd love to talk to you. We'd love to have you on the call too. If any of you are those folks, we'd love to have you on the call at any time. You guys have an open invite. Crooked David, you always got an invite on my call. Anytime you want to come on over, brother, you just come on over, man, and bring a notebook, because we're going to have fun. And that'll be a 2-hour call, I guarantee you. Another one I recommend too, he's always got an open invite to the call too, is Fearless Floyd. I don't know if you guys have checked out any of his stuff. It's entertaining, and it's, and there's some facts in some of it too. And I will tell you, Fearless's personal information, the stuff that he knows and does personally. I put a lot of stock in it. Some of his guests, well, you know, I don't know. But, you know, but I'm saying, you know, you got to watch those things, right? Dominic, who's back? Dominic, I'm seeing Dominic over here. Dominic is telling me who's back. Who's back? Me? Of course I'm back. I'm always back. And I got your back too, man. Tomorrow night we're going to have Debt and Foreclosure. It's going to be here tomorrow. Now, Natasha, I'm going to spring a new one on you.
Sure.
You ready? Here it comes.
What you got?
Here it comes. It's good. It's good, 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 good. So everybody knows I'm a minister. Obviously, I'm a minister. And one of my functions is to do marriage, matrimony, and unfortunately funerals too, which I had the displeasure of. Well, it was honorable, actually. It was an honor to do it. It was the widow of a veteran, and it was appropriate. So it was actually pretty okay. It wasn't too bad, but I typically don't like them, and because I'm there when they go sometimes, most of the time, and that's like no fun. That's like the worst part of that job. But the other part of my job is putting the two together. What if I told you that you could renew your vows and we could limit the powers of the state? So everybody's, you know, they're married under the state of, okay? What if I told you we could renew your vows and you create what is called a covenant? We've been doing this a long time. And you create a covenant between the two of you, which will supersede and make your marriage contract powerless. And I say powerless in the sense that if you guys need to get divorced, you can simply go get divorced. And that's it. There's not any of that extra stuff. There's no property to talk about. There's no child support to talk about. There's no alimony to talk about. There's none of that to talk about. And I'm going to show you, those of you guys that are interested in doing this, set an appointment with me. If you guys are interested in getting married, if you're interested in renewing your vows, but you want to get the state out of your bedroom, huh? Yeah, you guys hear those pot stirrers out there always talking about, oh, and marriage is commerce and sex is commerce and the state is in your bedroom and they're watching you. You know what I mean? They always say that crazy stuff. Well, and I mean, and it sounds kind of psycho, but it sounds kind of weird, but they kind of are. Because what happens if you find your wife cheating on you? Then you got to go file for divorce, right? Not saying I know anything about that. But anyway, you know, we don't bring any names up or anything like that. But, you know, if you find anything like that going on, then your only remedy is the state. What if I could tell you we could go to the state, we could fix this, and you give the state no power? All they can do is shred their little marriage contract and everybody goes back to their corners. What if we're handling all these things privately? What if you could do that? Actually, I'm here to tell you that you can. And it's really interesting. I personally experienced it myself, unfortunately. And so I actually did experience this, and I experienced how powerful this actually could be. And, you know, this is going to be something new. This is going to be something brand new. It'll be up on the webpage here probably next week. And we'll have some more information on it. But those of you guys who are interested in doing that, let me know. There's a couple of different ways we can do it. We can do a whole ceremony. We can do the whole ha ha ha, which is always fun and it's beautiful. It's a wonderful thing to do. I'm a musician as well. So, I mean, a lot comes with the Tim Damron package. So we can do a lot of things. We can get that set up for you. And then the other part is just to really get the state out of your business. If you limit the state and you have contracts that are superseding the state's ability to manage you, you're ahead of the game. You're ahead of the game like no means. You know, when you think about it, we take the UCC and trust class so that we can put a contract in place of what would not be there. And what would not be there, probate would show up. You know, hey, we need your house, we need all your stuff, and the probate officers would show up with empty pockets and leave with full pockets, and you know how that goes. You know, and the reason it doesn't work, Natasha, is because we have a contract in place. So if we did a covenant, and we wrote a covenant between you and Yahweh. And this minister witnessed it. And you guys signed off on it. That baby's binding. And that's what really saved me, because my trust was done in 2016. So because my trust was done in 2016, and everything had been operating as such in 2016, the state had no jurisdiction to jump in the front seat. But more specifically, I think if we had written a true marriage contract, or if we had a marriage contract or a covenant between the parties, then this would have been something that would have been even easier on everybody. More importantly, the children involved. And these are the things that we have to consider. We have to understand that the state doesn't care about your kids. We were talking about this last week, the stuff that happened at the Judicial Commission, Natasha, and we were talking about this last week about that. And
yeah,
you remember that? And I mean, and it got me thinking, like, wow. I couldn't believe how many people are just getting bent over out here in Texas. I mean, just, for all this pride and everything's bigger and better and gooder and whatever else they got with their double chin thing they got going on out here. But, I mean, whatever. I mean, it's really not. That's the fugazo and the whole thing. I mean, that's the fake. That's the part that's not true. It's not genuine,
I love it. Actually,
do you think that's a great idea?
I do. I think it's amazing. Well, as you know, I have everything in my trust.
Yep.
Gifted to it for the holding company and all that. And then, so me and Larry's been married for 20 years. So
congratulations.
Thank you. So if me and him, for whatever reason, but he's mine till whatever. But
he's on lockdown.
If he's mad, he's gonna go take a nap.
I wish I could solve my problems like that. That's it. I'm gonna go take a nap. Taking a nap.
But if it ever come down to that, though, the state would get involved, and if I could get the state out of it, and then because we've been together 20 years, we're adults. We could say this is yours, that's mine, and so forth, and all that. But sometimes people get big feelings in that, and they want to drag you through court, names, and so forth. And then if you could just dissolve it and be like, you go this way and I go that way, and done, I think that would be fabulous. But like you were talking though, didn't they used to write down marriages in Bibles?
Yes.
Okay. So we're you would be kind of going back to that, getting the state out, putting it in the Bible,
mm-hmm.
making a covenant.
And we make a covenant with Yahweh. And and that's a real marriage, man.
Yeah.
So if you guys are interested in doing that, man, let me know. I'd love to do it. And hey, I'll do yours for free. Really. I will do yours for free. I just need to ride in that truck of yours. That's it. That's all I want. I don't care about nothing else. I just want to ride in the truck. We just, boom, 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 all that. Okay, got it. And no John Denver on the radio either. I don't want to hear none of that. But I'm talking about anything else is fine. But
well, we're pretty much country over here. So.
I'm saying, I already know. That's why, it's really funny. I put an ad out for and we trapped Natasha. But anyway, I said, is anybody, interested in being a co-host on the show? And the minute I heard your accent, I was like, oh yeah, she's perfect. Perfect. And I'm going to tell you, and everybody out here loves you to death. Isn't that right, TikTok? Isn't she great? She's truly great. She's great. She makes everything fun, and she makes everything nice and soft. And, I'm going to be honest with you. She made me see the softer side in what we do out here. And really, she helped me really focus more on what we need to be doing. And that's truth. That's coming together. That's you guys coming together. Put away your pride, man. Your pride is not going to take care of anything. It's not. It'll just cause you to fall down every time. Really. And put that stuff aside, man. And let's build this thing. Let's do it better. Because we can. And the longer that we sit around and point the finger at each other and do all this, and the longer we keep calling each other, but if you're blatantly doing stupid stuff and you're just not telling the truth, I'm going to call you out on that. But for those of you guys that are looking for the truth and maybe you're making mistakes along the way, that's okay, man. That's totally fine because that's how you learn. But come see somebody that's already made all those mistakes. Come see somebody that's been fired from 4 different banks. This is why I know so much about this stuff, because I got fired from all these banks. Doesn't mean you need to go get fired from the banks too. And I mean, my bank loves me, by the way. I don't have problems with my bank right now. But I'm saying, as I was going up this chain and banging the walls and banging balloons together and everything else, trying to figure this out, I took some hits. I lost 3 kids to this legal system. And that was enough for me to learn how to use it and take that big stick away from them and beat their little butts with it. That's right. And I have no problem saying that, Houston County. And, we've done it. And I've done it not because I wanted to. I did it because I had to. I defunded an entire sheriff's department. Why? Because I had to. I didn't have a choice. They attacked me. They attacked my family. It beat me up. Natasha, they almost killed me in that jail. They did. And by Yah's grace and by Yah's strength, Yahweh, by the way, I walked out of that place a winner. I could barely see. I could barely do a lot of things. I'd lost a lot of motor skills, man. Those guys really, really jacked me up pretty good. But you know what? Yahweh put me right back together, right in front of my enemies. And they're still watching. I love it. So, look, I paid all these dues, man. Let me show you how I got there. Okay? Those of you guys that are teachers, okay? Those of you guys that are on the path to truth, man, let's pull together. Let's figure this thing out. Are you going to pay me for my time? Absolutely. But you know what? If you can do this and they leave, or if you can handle all this stuff and do it from your desk and you never have to go to court, I've done it many times. If you can do all of these things, you're ahead of the game. I want to show you how to do it. I want to show you that we do have common law courts, okay? And it's not downtown with Judge Wapner, okay? It's not in your local jurisdiction like you think it is. I'm going to show you where it is. Those of you guys that take the mail class, we've got one coming up on the 22nd, right, Natasha? 22nd? I think it's the mail class.
I believe so. I haven't looked lately.
It's a firm mailing book class. So those of you guys that are interested in taking the firm mailing book class, this is it. You guys want to learn where the common law jurisdiction is? You want to learn how to make a proper special appearance? This is your class. This is definitely your class. Those of you, and it's a very inexpensive class. It's $125. You're going to get some templates and some materials to go with you and so forth. But more importantly, you're going to get a lot of instruction. After that, if you need any appointment time with me, they're free. Okay? Set all the appointments you want, man. I don't care. I don't answer all your questions. I don't care. Doesn't bother me at all. Happy to do it. You want to make the investment in me, I'll make the investment in you. So trust me, with that little bit that you pay for the class, you're going to get it all back out of me if you use the appointment log like you should. And you'll figure this stuff out. You guys are anybody getting sued out there? Anybody getting sued by the debt collectors? This debt foreclosure class, you need to take it. Anybody out there a convicted felon and you've done your time, it's done and over with, and you want the stuff off your record, did you know that's a public debt? We're going to talk about that too. That's right. I'll show you how to make that stuff go away. You want to buy guns again? I'll show you how to do it. I'll show you how I did it. Okay? Gosh, more that we're going to be covering in this class. And really, Natasha, I'm probably going to end up breaking this class up into 2 classes because it's so much information. I mean, it really is. Like, I mean, you took it twice, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did.
Because it's a lot. It's a lot of info. I mean, it's just a lot. So, and also, you know what? Come into this class too. Just make sure you're in this class too. I'll send you an invite for this class. But yeah, definitely want you in this class. But this is going to be a super great class. Natasha will be in there in the class to make sure I didn't shortchange you guys. Hold on a second. I got a comment here. I got sued for $3,000, but they sold the debt to a collection company. Ha! Now you got some traction, okay? Because depending on how they sold the debt, so what people don't understand about selling the debt is that until you perform, they haven't really sold the debt. And what does that mean, Natasha, when they say when you haven't performed? What does that mean? That means if you don't pay the debt, Then they didn't buy anything. They're just going through somebody's trash in the garbage can. And what they did get was your CAFR number. And your CAFR number, oh, here we go. Your CAFR number is, spin, is basically their way of getting all of your information without getting your entire social security number. Because they can't give you your social security number because that'd be, invasion of the Privacy Act and all that. So they gave your stuff away another way, and they use your CAFR number and they give away your personal information. So they know the last 4 of your social. That's why when these yoo-hoos call you on the phone and they want to verify who you are, they always ask you for your address and the last 4 of your social. Why? Because they've got your CAFR. And the CAFR gives that little bit of information off your credit report. That's all they see. So if they get that, then they've got what? Performance. Yeah.
And so, yep, that opens them up for contracting.
That's it. Because you just verified who you were. Oh, we got the right one. We're good. I'm going to show you how to keep yourselves out of those, okay? I'm going to show you how to keep yourselves out of those cohesion contracts. This last class that we also talked about was, we talked about, gosh, we're almost out of time, but, hold on a second. I had a student and actually I had 2 students. Somebody just pulled a question up here. What's up, Timberwolf? How are you, man? Glad you're here, by the way. 2 of my students last year actually foreclosed on their lenders on their home loans. It took their houses. And here we are a year later. They're still in their house. Well, one of them sold their house, but the other one's still in their house. No problems. Everything's cool. And so this is some longevity. And we're going to be talking about that in class. I'm going to show you how they did it. Exactly how they did it. And they stayed in honor while they were doing it. These people, Natasha, these people even went to court. And their cases were dismissed. No Perry Mason involved. Is that cool or what?
It is.
Who's doing that out there? I mean, who's winning out there? That's the part that concerns me. Hold on a second. I got to drag this little piece in it. There we go. All right, we're back live on TikTok. All right, we're kind of getting towards the end here, but I want to thank everybody for being on the call tonight. Look at how many of you guys were on here. Wow. We had 2.5 thousand hearts that came through tonight. That is unbelievable, man. That's a lot of love, man. Thank you. So 2.6 million. Oh my God. Now the screen's just floating full of hearts. I love you guys, man. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys have questions about being on the, call my office tomorrow, okay? Between 9 and 4 p.m. tomorrow, call my office tomorrow, and I will get you in the class. I have 2. I have 2 seats left. We just had somebody just sign up. I have 2 seats left. I didn't think they were going to sign up, but I just got the payment. It just came through. 2 seats left, and we'll see you then. Thank you, man. Thanks for the cowboy hat. I appreciate it. Those of you guys like my cowboy hat thing, I only do that when I'm out. I want to thank you guys all for being here tonight. Listen, next week, next Sunday, we're going to have Bible study again. I apologize. I've been moving my office, and I've only, between the holidays and feast days and everything going on, Sunday has been my only day to do it. So I do apologize for missing you guys. I miss you guys for Bible study. Next week, we're going to be back at 6 p.m. Next Monday night, we're going to be back here, and Carl better be here, or we're going to make fun of him too. Hopefully, all 3 of us will be on here next week. Natasha, do you have anything you want to close with tonight?
No, I thank everybody for taking the time with this. I hope everybody that had questions got them answered, and just want to say thank y'all, and y'all have a great night.
All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you guys next week at 6 p.m. Central Time. Good night. There we go.